Welcome to the Elder Law Growth Podcast. Nobody should pass away without a solid plan in place, and everyone should be able to age with dignity. That is why we are on a mission to help elder law and estate planning firms grow their practices online so that they can create a lasting legacy for families everywhere.
Imagine this. You are at a law conference, lots of people around, and you're there because you're trying to get to know these strangers, because those strangers will ultimately bring you referrals. That's right. I'm talking about networking. And you know that it's not what you know, it's who you know. You know? That's why you're there. It's all about those connections. But guess what? Networking is awkward. It's awkward, guys. Nobody likes starting conversations with strangers. Unless you're a kid or one of those extroverts. But we're not going to talk about those people right now. They've already got it under the cap. It's not a problem. Anyway, you are there to network because you desperately need to get to know other people so you can get referrals. But what are you doing? You're looking at your phone. This is what most people do in group gatherings. They're looking at their phone because dang, it's awkward if you make eye contact. So you're trying not to make eye contact. And the whole time you're wondering, how am I going to do this? I know I'm here to get to know people, but dang, this is hard. How is this possible? How am I going to network when it's so dang hard? You know? And if one of these poor saps take pity on me and they make eye contact with me and they start the conversation, what do I say? Like your mind just draws a blank. What do I say without coming off like an idiot? Or like turning them off completely? What do I do? Welcome to Elder Law Growth, the place to be for all things marketing for your elder law and estate planning practice. Here in this podcast, you will have all the tools, all the skills that you need to market your own practice without wasting a second of your time. I'm Amie Hurst. I'm the marketing manager here at Bambiz, and in this episode, we're talking all about networking. I'm going to give you the 3 hottest places you need to be in 2022 as an estate planning attorney or an elder law attorney, guys. This is specific. 3 hottest places online and 3 hottest places in person. You need to be showing up at these 6 places and stick around to the end because that's when I'm going to give you the secret sauce to making networking not difficult, not awkward, and actually successful. So that way, when you are showing up in these 6 places I recommend, it's gonna be so easy, baby. You won't even have an issue. Wouldn't that be nice? Let's dive in. First, let's talk about where you should be showing up online, the 3 places. So the first place you might not have thought about is Nextdoor, the Nextdoor app. It's a much, much smaller pond, guys. But think about this. The people who are on Nextdoor most likely are not on social media. Lots of people are on Nextdoor because they want to connect with their neighborhoods, but they don't want to be on social media. So yes, you will be a much bigger fish in a much smaller pond versus social media. So, and there's not a whole lot of strategy to Nextdoor. All you need to do is fill out your business profile, make sure everything's complete, definitely include your website. But here's the kicker, guys. You need 3 hearts to show up in the search engine for Nextdoor. So make sure 3 different people give you a review for Nextdoor. And so that way, when someone types in elder law or estate planning in the search bar, you show up. So fill out your profile on Nextdoor and get at least 3 hearts so you show up in the search rankings. Next up, we're talking about Facebook. This is the given. The Facebook groups, ever since the pandemic, Facebook groups have skyrocketed, and people, especially your target audience, the older folks, they are on there and they are loving it. They're loving it, guys. They're loving it. Facebook groups are a great way for the older people to connect, and you need to be there. So think about the local groups in your community. So I'm in Boise, right? We're also known as Treasure Valley. So for me, if I was in your shoes, I would type in Treasure Valley community, Treasure Valley crime, Treasure Valley business, Treasure Valley family. And I would join all of those groups that have a lot of people posting comments, so that way I can go in there and contribute also. So that's one area. The other area you need to look at is the national groups. If I were in your shoes, I would print off a map of the United States, and I would put a pin in each state of the attorneys. Yes, I know an attorney in Oklahoma. Yes, I know an attorney in Massachusetts. And see which states you don't know an attorney in. So, because think of it, once you're being active and you're trying to reach out and get to know attorneys in states that you don't know, they're gonna want to give you the same favor, right? You scratch their back, they're gonna want to scratch yours. So join these groups. It's always good to introduce yourself. Say, hey, I'm Amie. I'm an estate planning attorney in Boise. I'm new to this group, just wanted to say hi, right? So those are the Facebook groups that you need to be a part of. You don't have to invest a bunch of time. Just like 10 minutes a week, scroll through the posts and see if you can add anything relevant and anything helpful. And then the third group is the mega obvious, LinkedIn. I could talk about LinkedIn for hours, guys. LinkedIn is the best network to be on if you're a professional and you're just trying to get to know other people, and it's a great way to get to know people nationally. Talk about a great way to strategize your networking system is through LinkedIn. And LinkedIn has a great way of favoring those who are trying to network. Have you ever noticed when you're scrolling through your newsfeed on LinkedIn that you see that one of your friends left a comment on somebody else's post that you've never even heard of? That's networking. You're getting to know your friends' friends. It's the third degree. You're getting to know your friends' friends. So if you leave a really good comment, that really good comment could show up on so many news feeds of people who've never even heard of you. So the simplest way to network on LinkedIn is to not leave posts. It's to leave really good comments. I'm talking like a paragraph to 2 paragraphs of a really good comment. Because when people are scrolling down and they see your comment, they're going to click on you. They're going to be curious. Just be you. You don't have to be super smart. You don't have to be super helpful. Just be yourself. Just be yourself. And people will eventually find you. So comment, comment, comment. So that's the 3 places you should be showing up online. But what about in person? So there's some obvious ones, but there's one that you might not have tried, and it is a gold mine, especially if you live in a bigger area, guys. All right, so I'm just going to jump into it and just mention the first place you need to look into when you are networking in person and you're trying to meet people and get your face physically out there is to go through Meetup. Meetup.com is amazing for getting to know people in your community. And it saves a bunch of awkwardness, right? Because you're there for a common purpose. Like, for example, if you really like hiking, you can go on meetup.com and see all the different events that are happening. Join those events. And even though you're there for something completely separate from work, you can bet your bottom dollar people are going to ask you what you do. So even if you go for things that are not work related, work is going to come up anyway, and it will be in a much more relaxed environment. Also, Meetup has wonderful professional networks. So just go on there, check it out. Guaranteed, it's one of the best ways you can meet people in your community without having to be so professional. It's a great way to meet people. Number 2, the second place you need to be showing up in person is the most obvious choice. It's your local bar association. Now, everyone knows this. So I'm just giving you a refresher. Join your local bar. Go to the activities, even activities that you're not really interested in. Actually, that might be a better bet for you because you'll end up mingling with people that you wouldn't normally mingle with. You know, like say there's an event, Pathways to Being a Judge. You have no interest in being a judge, but you go anyway because you want to sit next to people whom you never would sit next to otherwise. It's just a really smart way to network. So really take advantage of the local bar, guys. The local bar association, all of the events, it is fantastic. It is a wide open door to you guys for networking. So the last place is the obvious. The other obvious is just volunteering in your community. This is helpful for anyone who's trying to make friends and just trying to network. Any kind of activity where you can help. That's what you want. You want to come off as a helpful person. You want to be of service, especially paying attention to where your potential clients would be volunteering also. So that's just something to keep in mind for volunteering. So you need to volunteer, be a part of your local bar, and check out your local meetup groups and events. And if you want to go a step further for Meetup, create your own group. That way you are the head honcho of the group and everyone's networking with you because you're the organizer. So that's just a little quick trip. Also, I told you to stick around till the very end because this is going to be the secret to making networking not only successful, but not so awkward. How do you do it? How do we do it? How do we make that other person lean in instead of tune us out? How do we make it possible? How can we talk without coming off like a bumbling idiot? Trust me, we've all been there, guys. So here is the secret. Are you ready? It's your one-liner. You need to have your one-liner. So a one-liner is not my concept. This came from Marketing Made Simple. It is a book by Donald Miller. Check it out. Fantastic. Inside this book, he talks about a one-liner. Every business needs to have their one-liner. Every professional needs to have their own one-liner. I have my own one-liner. And so here's the magic about a one-liner and how it makes you successful and not awkward at the same time. So think of this. You're at a group dinner and a stranger walks up to you and says, "What do you do?" So the common answer that most people would say is, "I'm an estate planning attorney. I'm an elder law attorney." You can bet that the other person is probably going, whew, like it goes way over their head. So not only is your response kind of shutting the door on the conversation, but it's intimidating because you're saying you're an attorney. I mean, take it from somebody who's on the outside and is not an attorney, guys. When someone says, "I'm an attorney," it's intimidating. The other person doesn't want to come off like an idiot, so they don't ask questions. Their curiosity goes way down. And they're like, okay, got to back up from this guy. So whatever you do, avoid saying, "I'm an estate planning attorney. I'm an elder law attorney," because trust me, that's going to scare the other person. They're going to tune you out. They're going to be like, "Oh, I have no idea what that means, but I'm not going to ask because I don't want to be a weirdo." Here's what you do. You put in your one-liner instead. Your one-liner, it includes the problem that you solve, the solution to your problem, and the benefit after you've solved the problem. So for instance, I'm pretending to be an estate planning attorney. So my one-liner could be, somebody walks up to me and says, "What do you do?" I say, so many families in our community, they're losing their homes to nursing home costs and they don't know how to apply for Medicaid. They're losing the care that they need. So what I do, and I'm really passionate about this, I will go in and I will help these families. I'll help them protect their assets, their inheritance. I'll help them save their house, but still get the care that they need. And it's great because I help them get the peace of mind that they deserve. Now, it's a little bit of a mouthful, but if you whittle it down to one sentence and just say, "I help families in our community protect their inheritance and get the care that they need for their loved ones," and it's great because they get that peace of mind. If you just say that, the other person, guaranteed, is going to lean in and say, "What? What does that mean? I want to know more about this because my mom is aging and she can't live on her own," and guaranteed someone's going to say, "I want to know what that's about. I want to learn about that." It takes down the walls of the conversation and it helps the other person not feel stupid. It helps the other person be more curious and it makes you look more passionate. I mean, doesn't that sound much more passionate than saying, I'm an estate planning attorney? You know. So just think about it. The one-liner, and you can use your one-liner in any other ways, like every way for networking. You can use it in your email signature. You can use it in person. You can use it online. You can use it on your social media, on your website. When you're at a grocery store, you can use your one-liner when somebody says, oh, what do you do? You can use your one-liner, because guaranteed it's going to make it successful and less awkward for you, because you'll have your one-liner practiced, and it's going to make conversations a lot easier, guys. So good luck out there. Get out there, start networking, broaden your circle, and meet new people. You can do it. If you want to learn more about marketing for your law firm, please visit our website, bambiz.net, BAMBIZ.NE.